Happy Thursday, everyone. This is Laurie-Ann, your host, and you are listening to Be in Demand. This is the podcast where I help entrepreneurs just like you leverage speaking opportunities as your best form of marketing to also get positioned as the expert, and you might as well monetize your message. Today is a special speaker breakthrough session with my friend Taylor. Taylor, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
It's nice to meet you. So before we begin, if you can give me a high level understanding of what do you do and who do you help?
What I do is transformation. I love to play in the subconscious and bringing the foundational things so that we can create sustainable change in our lives. And who I help is driven, motivated people that want to change their lineage and change the world.
Okay, let's start there for a second. Driven, motivated people. That's a lot of people. Can you be more specific?
My original, when I started, was to go in for non-for-profit healthcare workers because I'm a nurse and
Mhm.
dealing with, working through COVID and everything else pre and post there. That's a specific group of folks that are very service based.
Mhm.
And when you are working in those roles, you tend to put yourself last just naturally.
Is this the group of people that you absolutely adore working with?
Absolutely. I still work with them every day.
Yes. Okay. So the reason why I love the healthcare is because there are so many medical associations. There are so many medical conferences. And since you're a nurse, you probably know that May is National Nurses Month. And what a great opportunity that you could actually have bookings next May, because this is a great month to speak. But we're not going to wait that long to get you out there. But just something to think about. There are all these different months. There is National Ultrasound Month and Radiology Month. If you figure out what all those different months are and then target different organizations, that you could be their speaker who comes in and gives the one of your fabulous, well-received programs.
It literally never even like as a nurse and working in healthcare and celebrating all of these different holidays never crossed my mind.
And you told me before we hit the record button that you're still a nurse. Are you working
Mhm.
full-time or part-time?
I work full time. I actually manage a health center. So I've been in management for the last 10 years of my 15-year nursing career, and I run a health center in reproductive health every day.
Fantastic. Okay, what associations are you a member of?
I am not I'm not a member of anything. Like I was in the Black Nurses Association when I was in Western New York, but since being in California, I haven't really found my footing and how to engage in that stuff again.
Be a great place to start too. And the reason
Yeah.
why I'm asking you what associations you belong to is because I consider that to be your warm market. So this is a place that you're paying your membership dues, you attend the meetings, you get to know the leadership and even the people who bring in the speakers to be able to have that conversation of who actually books our speakers and what's the process for bringing in speakers, because I would love to share my XYZ presentation with the group. We start with our warm market.
For sure. That makes so much sense. And I'm literally like, that is so simple. And it literally just never crossed my mind.
And it's that big question that a lot of people ask me. I just don't know where to start. And we have a tendency not to even look in our own backyard. And those people already know you, like you, trust you, and want to support you. And would love to hear what you have to say when it comes to transformation, especially with the subconscious.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what's running through your mind right now as I see you like looking up and over to the side?
I, I mean, it's funny because like the coaches that I work with right now always say that like my LinkedIn is my whole professional career. Those people are people that I know and have 9 times out of 10 actually like met in person and worked with in some way, shape, or form. And that audience is very different than what I have on Facebook and Instagram. And I don't do much on LinkedIn. I was in a book as a co-author. I announced that. And when it hit bestseller status, like I announced like super strategic, very clean, put together things on LinkedIn, but I don't post daily content. I don't necessarily engage regularly. So I'm like, as you say, the associations, not only is it something for me to Google today, because that's easy, but also like put up a post for free in no time on my LinkedIn and say, hey, y'all, I'm here. This is something I'm looking into. Could you point me in the right direction? And because I already have relationships with these people, like let that do some of the heavy lifting for me, even if it's
Yes.
just, hey, let me put you in touch with this person, let me put you in touch with that person and start a warm message. I just literally, I'm just like, so I'm mind blown right now. That is why I'm looking around, because I'm like, why was that so hard?
It's not hard, and that's okay. Sometimes the obvious is not obvious. So I'm going to have you take it even a step further than what you just said. But I have one question before that. Is speaker in your bio on LinkedIn?
No.
It will be by the end of today, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, we got to make sure that we have speaker in the bio. That way, if somebody comes to your LinkedIn profile, even your Instagram or your Facebook, we want them to see that, oh, Taylor's a speaker. I didn't know that. And you never know who's looking at your bio because they could be a volunteer on some sort of committee putting together some sort of a conference. Okay, but back to the let's take the relationships a step further. Instead of putting a blast out there as a LinkedIn post, I want you to do this strategically. I want you to go in and look at your contacts and send them a personal message. So, for instance, who is somebody that you would like to reach out to?
I'm thinking of, I have a group of trainer friends that we traveled the country together for years doing trainings, like people that have seen me man a room, that they would
Okay.
be my first
Okay.
people to, they've either watched me or we've been side by side doing. So like there is no better proof of concept than the people that have already seen it years ago, and it's even better
Yes.
now.
Yes. Okay. Give me one name, first name only.
We're gonna go with Amanda.
Okay. Amanda. And how long has it been since you worked with Amanda or
Hmm,
connected with Amanda? Rough idea.
maybe 3 years.
Perfect. You're going to reach out to Amanda, sending her, a LinkedIn DM to be like, Amanda, I cannot believe it's been 3 years since we worked together at a conference. If you were attending a conference, since we were both together at this particular company, Amanda, I just can't believe it's been 3 years. I'm sure so much has changed in your world, so much has changed in my world. Let's connect over coffee, some virtual coffee. Let me know if you're interested, or even better, if you have a calendar link, just drop your calendar link. I would love to reconnect with you. And it's during that connection call that you're going to share, I'm doing more speaking, and here's what I'm speaking on, and see if Amanda knows anybody that you should be reaching out to. So now we're taking your warm market, and your warm market is going to extend you into your cold market, which actually means it's a little lukewarm since they're referring you.
Hmm.
But just building those relationships, and you already have these relationships with so many people. So really all you're doing is you're reconnecting with your fellow speakers, your fellow trainers.
Yeah,
Does
it's
that
really,
feel?
really easy.
Yeah. And if you got into the habit of sending out just 2 messages a day, that's it. Nothing big, nothing major. You don't have to do them all at once. I consider it kind of like a daily vitamin. There's a reason why they call it a daily vitamin, because we don't want you taking 7 on Sunday. They work best over time when you take one a day. Same thing with the connection calls. If you just send out 2 emails, 2 DMs a day, your calendar within a couple of weeks, you're going to start seeing people are booking coffee chats. And then you're not overwhelmed because if you were to send out 14 in one day, I mean, those 14 people in theory could book this week. Can you imagine doing
Mhm.
14 coffee chats?
Oh my God, I don't want that much coffee in my life.
I love that answer. So, 2 a day. So, here's what
Yeah.
I'd like you to do. I would like you to go look at your LinkedIn, go look at your LinkedIn contacts, and make a list of 14 people. Here are the 14 people that I'm going to reach out to, and just put it on a sticky note somewhere that you're going to see every single day so that you can, yep, check, check. I did my 2 today. And keep track of the dates that you reach out to them originally. And then just remind yourself, like in 2 weeks, if you don't hear from them, just reach back out. Hey, just making sure you got my DM. I really want to talk to you. And sometimes I come up with something funny to say, like maybe leprechauns have kidnapped you and they're forcing you to watch them dance.
Oh,
You
I'm
can buy your
hilarious. Like, so me just and that's just my personality. Like, I come up with stuff like that. I don't even know where it comes from. So having that's my foreline in my human design. But like going through having those conversations, because again, these are like people that I know. These are people that I've laughed and had dinner with before. So like for me to say something hilarious or a reminder of something hilarious that happened when we were working together would just be very natural and not, because none of this is remotely salesy. Like this is literally an opportunity to reconnect with old pals, literally, because we did this stuff for years together. So like it would be good to connect. It would be good to catch up. And I do actually want to talk to these people, even if it is just to connect. Like,
perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. That's what I want you to do that. That's what I want you to do first. And second, let's see, let's come up with some presentation titles. What's a presentation that you have or you would like to create?
So that's a very big question because I have a lot, but I have been getting more and more vulnerable in my own story, in my own journey. And I've been challenging myself to get more vulnerable because the curriculum that I have been traveling around for years teaching is proprietary to that organization. But it affects everything else. But I have my own trainings and things that I've put together that I can use fully. But I really like to co-create and empowerment and transformation are like my top two genres of when people ask that question of like what's important to you. It's like giving me my power back and then transforming because I have my power back.
Okay. So let's keep it for healthcare. So transformation at the end of your speech, what's the gift that you've given the audience? What are they going to get out of hearing you talk?
How to start your healing from burnout.
There you go. How to start your healing from burnout for healthcare.
Yeah, I've yet to come across um any healthcare professional that's not even grad. I would say new grads, but like if you just made it through school, you're definitely burnt out. So yeah, I mean it applies to everybody.
It does. And I come from healthcare myself also, and I've done a lot of executive coaching with healthcare leaders. And you're right, it more so now, I think as a result of the past couple of years, patients just show up differently, and the healthcare workers are dealing with so much more. So there you go. There's one of your talks. Do you have another one?
I mean, we could lean into empowerment and advocacy within because I've worked as a frontline worker and in C-suite management, so I can work with people managing up and down.
I like
Um,
the idea of you also having a talk, one for frontline workers, but also one for upper management. I really like that idea.
Yeah, this is why I've struggled to like really get clear on one thing because I'm the person that sees the patient at 8 o'clock in the morning, and by 5 o'clock I'm sitting in a board meeting. So like the entire gamut of how things work, how decisions are made, and then also what it looks like to implement these decisions that have been made, it's all in my brain and my heart. So, and I love it. But yeah, I mean, I absolutely, I've done trainings that were just like VPs, CEOs, like that's not foreign to me.
Yeah,
And that is a different level, it's just a different level of conversation.
it is. So what's a gift you can give that audience?
They can also benefit from that gift of healing from burnout because I can't ever
I
imagine how CEOs sleep at night, especially in healthcare. But I
I
think, diving into more emotional intelligence. And I know that that's like, something that Talent Smart pretty much like has on lock, but in a real life, practical, healthcare specific and driven way, emotional intelligence, of course, expands beyond, emotional intelligence is just necessary for life, but I could even gear that more directly to your day to day, what that looks like, how you show up for your people, and how you can have your people show up for you.
love it. Emotional intelligence for healthcare leadership.
Yeah.
It's short, it's simple, and it says it all. And then you could always come up with some very nice subtitle for both of them. But at least when you start to have these conversations, when you're reconnecting with your pals from the past, you've got two titles that you can share with people. Here's a couple of the speeches, the presentations that I have that are ready to go. Have you given these talks before?
In a roundabout way, yes. Like I will give myself bullets. I can script, but I really don't care to. It's not my favorite. But I'll give myself bullets, and there's been times where I've been teaching and someone asks a great question and it prompts this whole side conversation that never would have come out. And then that is like what becomes part of my signature because people are like, oh my gosh, I really enjoyed your response, or I really enjoyed that. Like back and forth. So the more loosely bound I can be, the better. But I will like absolutely make sure I deliver on, these 3 to 5 points.
Perfect. Perfect. So it sounds like you're very good with on the spot Q&A. That doesn't throw you. Some people aren't comfortable with Q&A, but it sounds like you're definitely going to be comfortable with that. So
The questions that you just asked me for like the titles, like I just that that that's me in action. Like I didn't come prepared or planned with knowing what you were gonna ask. And I'm just like, let me sit with that for a second. And that's what came out.
fantastic. So how do you feel now? You got a little direction.
A lot of direction that it's like I think one of the questions that you asked me was like, what do you want to gain from this? And I'm like, clarity and like next steps. And now I feel like I have the next 10 because even if only one person or three book that coffee chat, so much can come from that. Like if we just did this in less than 20 minutes, me connecting back, reviving relationships, like, yeah. So I feel really really empowered and informed as to like send this message, and then I know what to do after that. I'm probably still going to need, until from this moment until I'm in front of, either somebody virtually or in person. That's where some of the work is, but I think it makes a lot more sense to me now, and it's not this big foreign thing that I thought was just like for other people and not for me.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So would you share with me one gold nugget that you were walking away with today?
Tapping into my already very warm network, like the obvious, the not so obvious of the obvious.
These people already know us, trust us. And in your case, they've already seen you in action. So they will feel so comfortable referring you to, yeah, I know somebody who is, book speakers for this particular organization, this association. They're going to feel so comfortable referring you over to them. Fantastic. Will you do me a favor and do a shout out? Let people know who are listening to this where they can find you, where they can learn more from you, because Lord knows that there is I mean, like, I'm just outside of Boston. The healthcare industry makes up pretty close to 80% of all of Boston and all the different industries that are located
That
around
is true.
here.
Yeah, so I actually am physically based in San Diego, California now, and I am very active on Facebook as myself, Taylor A. Carruthers, and also on Instagram. My company is Metanoia Innovative Solutions, and it's always me responding. So if you send me a message or comment on something, it's me responding. So I can't wait to talk to you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Taylor is on her way to connecting with lots of former people that she has worked with, and I know she'll be on those stages real soon. So if you're a coach or a consultant who is tired of hearing crickets on social media and you're just wondering how to get positioned as the expert, how to get started using stages as your best form of marketing, then the speaker breakthrough session is just for you. In this free 20-minute session, I will help you uncover where you are currently leaving speaking opportunities on the table and how to find more opportunity to get your message and story out there. To book your very own speaker breakthrough session, I want you to go to speakandstandout.com/SBS, which stands for Speaker Breakthrough Session, and book your free 20-minute session today.